artist, Christopher, you'd expect someone to change it to something more unusual, maybe Bruno, or something more that would stand out. But Christopher is just like one in Filipino.
Yeah,
What's with that?
it's like one.
Yeah, like it's like Juan or John. It's a
Yeah,
common
yeah, yeah.
name.
It's a common name.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's a good question. I don't think I will change it. I you know, once when I was like 18 and I had a record deal and I was thinking about doing something special like Christopher Clocks or Christopher Clues or like some weird, but it always felt unnatural to me. I always just felt like Christopher, and in Denmark it's really common as well. But the moment I was making it big, when people said Christopher, it was like they just knew who they were talking about. So yeah, I think if the music is good enough and you get a big enough fan base, I'll probably be referred to as Christopher the singer.
I've not heard your music, but I'm thinking you stuck to that name because your music is also straightforward. Is it?
Really straightforward, really honest and personal and true to who I feel like I am. But yeah, I think that'd be a good way to put it.
So since I'm a total idiot when it comes to your music, what is your music?
My music is pop music. I would consider it as to be a little bit more soulful, and it has both urban references and really singer-songwriter references that come from like a John Mayer, Ed Sheeran singer-songwriter sort of background, and moved into a little bit more up-tempo, danceable, Justin Timberlake sort of vibe. Michael Jackson, they were all big influences, music inspirations, and like I just told the guys over here, I think you just become a mishmash of who you are listening to growing up. Even though it's like a lot of different genres, you meld it into your own little unique thing. That's what it has become.
But based on your influences, you sound like you're an old soul. Are you?
I probably am.
Yeah. Well, aside from Michael Jackson's music and all the others you mentioned, what else are you into? Just so we can test that old soul theory.
I'm really into. Talking about old music, I'm really into Al Green.
Oh, see.
Nat King Cole, Aretha Franklin. I really love Sam Cooke. So I got a lot of old school references. I would actually love at some point to do like a Sinatra crooner album. Absolutely love that. But I feel like I'm young and I have a really young audience. So staying true to who I am and what I have right now, I just want to focus on the good melodies and the big choruses, the good songs, and the great lyrics that has some like personality. I think these days, there's been this big wave of just writing hits where people don't care about if it's like honest, natural, personal, whatever. They just write what they know will work on the radio, which makes everything sound like the same.
Or will get views online.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not really into that. I want my music to succeed, of course, and I know when something is hooky and something is not. But most importantly, just love good music. And there is no recipe how to write a song that will connect with people or how to write a hit. That's the beauty of it. It's so frustrating sometimes. But, I think if you don't feel it, no one else will feel it. So you might as well just do what feels great to you.
And if you fail, at least you love what you do.
Exactly. That is like probably the best point. Not only in writing songs, but in just being an artist. If you fail, you should fail at what you love yourself. Because if you fail at something that someone else told you to do, you'll be standing there pointing fingers and feel like crap.
And if you fail doing something you love, you didn't actually fail, did you?
Exactly.
All right. You weren't discovered online, I'm guessing. Did you audition? Did someone get to hear your music? Were you referred?
I started out by playing some small gigs at small, wine bars and stuff. Just me and the guitar. That's how I got signed.
Okay.
But you're completely right that, social media, YouTube were a huge part of my story in the beginning and success.
I didn't know that. What happened? Did you?
I started with posting a cover, and that exploded. Then I released my first single, and that was it. and it was just like a rocket ship that exploded, that took off. So I started with Denmark and grew there, and after my second album, I was doing really good. And then I started, getting some buzz in China. I had
In China.
had a couple of #1 songs
Wow.
in China. So that was my two markets, Denmark and China. It was really weird. That opened up some doors to Korea. That got me to do promo in the Philippines. I was here for the first time a year and a half ago. Malaysia, Taiwan, So it feels like China was the beginning point to something great out here in Asia. And for some reason, it feels like they're really connecting with the music out here. We have this huge urban wave going through Europe right now that comes from the States. And I do pop music, and I want to stay true to that. I'm not going to change that just because the market changes,
Of course.
And it feels like you still love the good pop songs out here, So I feel like there's a reason why I'm here.
There was a time the word pop is seen as a generic term, It's not as cool as R&B or rock or hard or death metal. But you say it so proudly, I do pop music. But I'm guessing the kind of pop music you do is something that can be something you can be proud of.
Yeah,
How hard do you work at your music?
I work as hard as I can. I mean, on a scale from 1 to 10, it's a straight 10, you know what I mean? Pop is just short for popular, Hip hop is the new pop. Rap is the new pop, I feel like pop has been just put into this small box of just annoying, catchy tunes. But pop is just a term for a great song, Whenever once in a while there is that song where everybody just agrees this is great, that's a pop song.
Right.
I don't care about what genre it is, it's a pop song. Because if it connects with people on a universal level, it has that hooky thing where just like you'll wake up in the middle of the night and you'll be able to sing that song because it just touches everybody. That's the beauty. That's what I'm going for. That's what I strive for. I strive for touching people with my music. And you can never know like how you're gonna do that, but you are not, you're not in doubt when you do hit that. And I think it's one of the biggest privileges with being an artist. You can actually be part of someone's life without knowing them. I could be a part of someone's life the way John Mayer was a part of my life, or Michael Jackson was a part of my life. These guys were the soundtrack to my life. I have so many memories that are directly linked up to them. Friendships, loves, vacations, To be that to someone, that's what, that's why I do this. That's what I feel like gives my life meaning, Helping people, that's the biggest compliment I can get when a fan writes me, Chris, you helped me through this very hard period of my life, or whatever. It's like, it made sense, It makes me want to work even harder.
Tell me about the songs you write. What are they about?
I can tell you about my newest song. That's probably one of my favorite songs I've ever written. It's one of the most personal and honest. It's called Irony, and it's about some of the things that I've been dealing with and struggling with over the past 2 years. Whenever you have success, you have a lot of pressure. Talking about that, talking about how I wanted to quit smoking, how I wanted to try to cut meat out of my diet to save the planet. Failed miserably at that. It's about social media, how we all portray our perfect lives out there, and we all act like we got it all figured out and like we're super tough, but the reality is that there's very little toughness out there, and there's like a very small amount of people that got it all figured out. And I've been a big part of like contributing to that perfect image on social media. I had to take a step back from it. I took 8 months off and really, took a good look on like what is it that you want to do on social media. You want to inspire people and motivate people and not make people feel like shit or make them feel like they're not worth anything. And there's a lot of people with low self-esteem, more than ever, depression, like more young people that are committing suicide. I don't think social media is the reason alone, but it has a big thing to do with that. And that's terrible. absolutely terrible. And I think it's very important to have an open dialogue about that. And there is someone that tells these young people you should not compare yourself or your life to what you see on social media, because there's a filter on everything. Everything can look great on social media. That doesn't mean that the people posting the pictures feeling amazing, you know. And especially young people. And we have a whole new generation that does not know a reality without social media. So I think it's a super important conversation, and to be honest, there's not a lot of people talking about it.
Right.
I had to figure it out on my own because I live, in many people's eyes, a perfect life. I have nothing to complain about. I'm dealing with my own things, but you know, if I can scroll through Instagram and feel like crap, you know, I know that people is gonna be able to relate, you know, because I got so many good things going for me, and yet, you know, it's not a matter of what you got going; it's a matter of perspective. And I'm comparing myself to, you know, Ed Sheeran and Bruno Mars, and I'm like, why do I not have a private jet, or like, why am I not two in the world, or whatever. It's all about perspective. And someone is probably looking at my life and being like, why do I not get to travel to the Philippines? Why do I not have a #1 song on radio or whatever? So I think it's really important to tell these kids not to compare their lives to social media. And the ironic thing is that it has never been hard for people.
Right. Well, I actually didn't expect that answer. I thought you'd start with well, there's this girl.
Yeah.
And then
I have those kind of songs as well. I love writing about love stories. I just love writing about stuff that I experience on my own body and things that I'm going through. But social media has been such a big part of my life since I started my career, and that song just poured out of me. Sometimes you're lucky, and I guess I was a little bit lucky with that one.
is there a time you wished you did not live in a time where or when social media is
absolutely.
gone?
Absolutely. I think everything would be easier actually without it. I'm super addicted to it, to be honest. I think we all are.
To a fault.
To our not only social media but to our phones.
Yeah.
To wake up in the middle of the night and go for a pee and check your phone on the way out. It's fucking absurd. If you go to a restaurant with your friends and you're all checking your phone, you're addicted to your phone, you know. I think it's completely out of control, to be honest.
You might as well have spied on me
Yeah.
saying those things.
Yeah. I think, you know, I just think there's nothing wrong with social media. There's just an imbalance in the way we use it. And I think we'll get it under control. Like, I'm not at all worried about the future, and I already think that people are getting really aware about it. I think it's like that with all the issues of the world. Global warming is one of the things that I'm talking about in that song, Irony. I think one of the biggest humanitarian crises that we have in the world right now. And I think we are opening people's eyes. The question is if it's too late, but I'm not worried. Like, we'll figure it out. But I think we're gonna look back in 10 years on how we use our phones today and social media, maybe in 20, and be like, what were we doing? Like, wow, we were actually like not really connecting with each other. I mean, I can get on a bus today and I can see 50 people, you know, just looking into their phone. I cannot catch a smile from one person because everybody's in their own little world, you know, which is kind of scary. I guess it's the new future, but I think we'll find the balance.
2 more questions, but first I have to say you've restored my faith in millennials. All right, thanks. Okay, how long have you been here? And what are your activities in the Philippines?
I've been here for 2 days now.
Mm-hmm.
We're going home tomorrow, and we've been doing promo, singing, meeting fans, doing radio interviews. Been talking about Irony, been talking about, you know, my life, you know, about people, where I come from, how it's different from this beautiful country, and, you know, just things you do when you try to break a new market.
What's next? What's up next year for Christopher?
I think
A name that I will remember.
though, I hopefully will come back to the Philippines. I think the first step is to do some of my own shows, to meet some more fans and get I feel like when I'm on stage and I'm singing for people, that's when I connect with people, and that's when you get a chance to conquer and create fans. So that's the next step. I've been working on this comedy album for 2 years, so I'm beyond excited to play this music for people, to play both like the songs that come straight from my heart, that is about, you know, the world, how I see the world and how the world sees me, but also the love songs. I mean, just super excited. It's always the most motivating thing for me is to, you know, look at someone that was not a fan before and then leaving as a fan, and yeah.
Would you like to post that? I'm kidding. Thank you.
Thank you, man.